Alright guys, good morning and welcome to the FSL Singapore qualifiers. Last week we had the Philippines qualifiers, yesterday we had the Thai qualifiers, and today, well, we've made a whole tour of Southeast Asia. We're back in Singapore. So without further ado, you can see on the screen we are on to pick and bans. Of course we did pick it up a bit later today, small delay, but we should be running this through very quickly. Just to name a couple of champions that have been banned on the blue side for Asterisk, it will be Zoe, Vayne, and Cassiopeia. On the red side for Hanami, it will be Camille, Akali, Victor. Lissandra instant lock-in replied with Urgot and Sejuani. Alright.
You say a bit later, but it's 9 in the morning.
It is 9 in the morning, yeah.
It's 9 in the morning here in Singapore. If you guys were tuning in the last time we had the Singapore qualifiers, it was about 2 weeks ago, I think January 5th. If you're kind of wondering what's going on right now, Hanami as a team, they did name change previously. So during the play-ins, they were called Call Me Daddy. Have name changed to Hanami. Also have gone through a couple of player swaps here and there. They have a brand new AD carry, also role swaps. Their previous support, Everly is role swap to top lane, and I believe their old AD carry is role swap to support. So Dice is new, and the little Chinese test for you guys on Sunday morning, their top laner. And
I'm getting triggered. It reminds me of my days in school, like Sunday morning Chinese tuition. But that being said, you talk about role swaps. I'm not very excited to see teams switching up roles and rosters mid-tournament. But
you say that, but I think that out of kind of all the previous metas that we've had so far, I mean, if you're gonna role swap, this is the meta to play around with that mid, with the top, even AD carry. We've seen G2, we were all wondering how Perks was going to do in the LEC. His first game, he plays Zoe bot lane, AD carry. So this is kind of the meta where pretty much most champions can be flexed everywhere. You see champions such as the Aatrox, Lissandra, even Urgot, and you're thinking, well, they could be flex picks.
Yesterday as well in the LEC, we saw a mid lane Vayne being played against a Galio, so not too surprised that the flexibility is there for the teams if they want to play around with it, and definitely, like you said, we're excited to see how the players adapt. So
I'm excited that the Veigar actually got banned out, because Team Hanami were kind of hovering it for a while. It looked like they might want to pick up the Veigar, but Team Asterisk are going to be banning that one. I also think, because the last day that we had for the Singapore playing qualifiers was 5th January. These teams actually have had about 2 weeks.
And the patch change as well.
Yep, and the patch change to scrim and scout out their opponents. So it's been quite a while. Also, we didn't have much time to talk about the brackets coming in today. Asterisk is, of course, FSL Season 1 and Season 2 champion. So if anything, this is the team to beat coming into today.
Let's talk a bit about the brackets after that, but I just want to, pick your brain for some insight, pick your. I was thinking about Vayne yesterday, but I want to pick your brain about.
We do want to pick that Vayne.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's been banned, so
Vayne,
you're not getting Vayne. You're not getting Vayne today.
Darn it.
Yeah. Looking at the picks and bans, a couple of power picks that made it through. Lissandra and Aatrox, very notable.
Yep, the Lissandra first pick. I think we are in patch 9.1. Also, if you haven't been following League, I think the passive change has kicked in.
Yeah, of course. It's been in effect since I think the previous patch. So this is
24B.
Yeah, 24B. So this is sort of like the continuation. We saw a lot of focus on Lissandra in the LCK.
Yep, exactly. So essentially the changes to Lissandra, her passive no longer gives that. I mean, she used to get the mana every 21
this is better,
seconds.
I think.
Yeah, and that was kind of like, well, you're just really overcompensating for how high her mana costs are. So her mana costs overall have gone down. And right now her passive has this Ghost, which is really useful during team fights. It deals that extra damage. So if you can utilize that well, E in, get that Dream WR in the team fight, the Hourglass, that will be
Faker Dream WR, right? You want to hit 5 people with the Ring of Frost and maybe chain them to something else. But as the pick and ban rounds out, I like that both teams have gotten multiple power picks for themselves, actually.
Yep, I actually really like the way that both these teams have shaped out. Of course, Asterisk had really good first 3 picks with the Lissandra, the Aatrox, the Gyarados. It was very clear the sort of composition that they were going for, the target, the lockdown CC, really paving the way for them to last pick their bot lane duo of the Ashe and Zyra. We're really expecting the Ashe to be able to shine in this composition, whereas on the side of Team Hanami, they did have the very early pick Urgot, what you were saying is a very good flex pick, but then also they had the early pick of Caitlyn, so
Yeah.
we all knew where the Urgot was
This
going
is
to go.
like the Worlds tournament again, because we're seeing Aatrox, Urgot in the top lane,
Yep.
and it's pretty much the default top lane to go to. If Urgot or Aatrox is banned out, Sion was always an option for them. So I like that you mentioned, both teams definitely having some strong power picks. To add on to the drafting style of Hanami here, we saw the last two bans of Lucian, Ezreal, and then getting the Caitlyn for themselves in the
Yep.
second rotation. It was kind of like a catch-all where they wanted to get a good strong AD carry, but they left out Ashe, which is actually a pretty decent matchup, I feel, against the Caitlyn, because your volley has an extended range, you trade pretty well,
Yep.
and you scale equally, if not better, towards
Yep.
the
Also,
mid-game.
there was that minor change in patch 9.1 where your E right now, if you get vision of an enemy,
Ooh, you get the
assist
assist, yes.
goals. The
Gotta
dream.
love the assist goal.
You're like, oh, a kill's going down.
Yep.
Let me press that E. Get that
Definitely,
sweet, easy assist goal. It's like that Soraka R.
Yeah, for
the
sure.
Karthus R
Oh.
that we saw Yankos play in the LEC.
The Karthus R is never an assist. You always want to use it to KS.
KS.
Yeah, you always
want
want
to
to use
get
the
that
KS.
sweet triple kill when you see the enemy.
It's like when you have your Dark Harvest and you tell your team, like, prepare guys.
Yeah.
The moment
All
to your
right.
health, it's going down.
Alright, so back to Team Hanami's team composition. We are in a spectator delay
Yeah, of
since we
course.
are playing on the live server. It's going to be a 3-minute delay, although today we do have some videos. We'll get to that in a
Yes.
sec. It's just
Very, very nice.
Yep, nice videos. They're also up on our Female Esports, the Facebook page.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't gone to check them out, we've been posting teasers, we've been posting videos. You get all the notifications of when we're live on there as well. But back to Hanami's team composition, we're talking about the Caitlyn. I mean, it's really clear from the composition, right? Because they picked the Orianna, the Sejuani, the Morgana. It's pretty much all utility mid lane, utility jungle, utility support, just to try to help this Caitlyn shine in the game, of course, as well as the Urgot. So it's a really clear composition, but the thing is, there's just so much CC, there's so much lockdown from the side of Team Asterisk. You've seen Team Asterisk play. I mean, as a team, this roster, most of this roster also was kept from the previous iteration of Team Asterisk. So you can expect that, they've been scrimming, they know how to play this composition. So a bit worried for the side of DICE. Also, you're saying that DICE is a new addition to this team, and she wasn't here for the play-ins.
I think that's definitely going to factor into how the team plays around her when you have a new addition. Sometimes you want to build the team to support that new player, to make them feel comfortable, and with the composition centered around DICE now being the major source of damage, we have to see how the team plays around that. Across the board, I want to talk a bit more about how, the opposition has role swap, has roster swapped. Lustreless in the jungle was something that I personally was very interested in. She is someone that has been a mainstay in the scene, has been around for quite a long time, not just in SGCLs but TLCs as well. A lot of local tournaments, so her experience is going to come for a lot in this tournament.
Yep, Lustrous, pretty much the Campus League Golden Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Won 4 times back to back straight. But with that, guys, I think we are going to be cutting to a very quick video for Team Asterisk.
Right, I think that was quite a nice video. If you guys are interested to see more, as Jenny mentioned, it's there's a whole bunch of them on the Facebook page. Of course, if you're watching now, it should be on the Facebook page anyway. Just open in a new window, go and check it out, and see if you can get to view the rest. I mean, of
Feel
course,
the hype.
Yeah, feel the hype for sure. A lot of it's a pretty decent production value. I feel like for community tournaments, we don't do enough of like these hype videos. Even the GPL back then, when we were casting, the hype videos were very, very limited. I like
with
seeing
that,
these.
the cross-armed
Yeah,
pose,
yeah.
and then there's
Oh,
always
man.
that drone shot across Marina Barrage.
You're calling them out. You know all the tricks of the GPL. Yeah, honestly, more of this is good. I'm very excited to see the value that the community has shown in having these small tournaments and having us, come in as well to do these for them.
And with that, guys, we've spawned on the Rift for game number 1 of the Female Esports League Top 8 offline playoffs between Team Asterisk over on the blue side and Team Hanami, previously known as Team Call Me Daddy, on the red side. Ooh, are we going to get that exciting level 1?
I mean, both teams looking like they are spreading out defensively. I say that it is more of Asterisk that has formed this defensive line, whereas Hanami doing so the same. Both teams kind of playing it cool and calm and collected.
Yeah. I mean, both teams, if they wanted to, there is that potential for that cheesy level 1. I say this just because there's Morgana and Zyra in the support role. Usually those are the type of champs that you really, will try to go for that level 1 cheese, although it might set you back behind in lane. I mean, if you're Lissandra, you take W at level 1. There is that potential for that early level gank, but then the lane trade-off, is it really worth it though? But looks like for both these teams there aren't going to be any shenanigans at the level 1, just really content to playing very defensive, dropping those wards down and hitting to lane.
Yeah, these are the expected defensive wards in the river. You come to see a lot just to sort of scout out the opponent jungling path. Lustrula's going to start on her rip buff without any assistance, which is interesting to note because this indicates that they want to put more pressure down the bot lane, but also not to give away any information early on.
Yep, and you were talking earlier in Pick and Ban about how Lustreless, we were saying that Asterisk has played together for really long. Lustreless as well has been playing in the local scene for a while, but she's been playing mostly support.
Yeah.
So I think one thing to note, we were talking during the prep before the game, was just how Lustreless is going to path this game, because she's not really very accustomed to playing in the jungle role.
I mean, we're looking at her move to the Crux on the bottom side, meanwhile...
Oh, but the river scuttle though, bot is getting taken by Sejuani from Team Hanami.
Should point out that that's going to be spotted by Lustreless because of the Pixel Brush ward, so they will know that the Sejuani has taken the bottom scuttle crab and is going to path top side.
Yeah, the thing about the Gragas, especially if you don't get that leash early on Gragas, as well as Sejuani, there's some of the junglers that go pretty low on the first clear. Oh, that was a nice E.
You see, that's the value of the ward that allows you to chain it into further vision. So now...
but that's the thing though, because Ash, she did take E at level 2, which isn't really a common pickup in general. You want to have that Q and W, so she is sacrificing a bit of that lane pressure, but just it does help her know that Sejuani is on the top side and that she's safe to push the lane. As you can see, Team Asterisk are doing now, getting so much poke damage down onto the Morgana, and that's because of the vision that they managed to get.
Yeah, knowing that the Sejuani's top side, like you said, they're gonna run to each other in the jungle, body slam in. Sejuani's starting to fight. Lustreless has to use the flash defensively to get out of here. Knowing that she still has smite, she might just attempt this blue buff, but I'm not sure if she's safe. C-Ping's coming down. Aatrox looking like she wants to move down to assist this.
Yeah, Aatrox has pushed the lane early on, but as you can see over in mid, I believe the Orianna did have the lane advantage at that point in time, but Lustreless is going to safely pick up the blue. I don't think the Sejuani really wanted to go for that engage. Of course, we are in patch 9.1. There have been some slight changes to Sejuani.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Her numbers have seen a tweak in the sense that she does more damage, but she's not as tanky early on, and you could see there the impact was really pronounced on Lustreless because she had to flush away. She was extremely afraid of the permafrost coming in.
Yep. Essentially, Sejuani's a better duelist right now. Needs to oh wow, nice dodge from Aya. That would have hit me. That would have hit me.
Yeah.
Point blank.
Still early in the morning, but Aya is not sleeping on the Dark Binding, so she's gonna get out of there. Meanwhile, the mid lane push from Delusion onto Candleburn is starting to hurt a bit, knowing that this is the Orianna matchup. And of course, like you mentioned, Lissandra, without the free mana passive, it's gonna take a bit of punishment here in terms of wave management.
Yep, I mean that's always pretty much what happens when you're against the Orianna, because good Orianna players are able to use Orianna players, the caveat, use your Orianna passive very well. So the thing about Lissandra, she's a bit short range, especially when she can't consistently be spamming those Qs to last hit the minions. If you're a good Orianna, you can chain your auto attacks in the early levels of the game, and that's really what will help you poke out your opponent in mid lane, especially if they are a mage.
Now the thing is, Candleburn didn't get teleport either. Instead, she got the cleanse to respect Sejuani ganks coming in and the dark binding as well. So this is gonna hurt her lane quite a lot, considering she couldn't base, get the heal, and teleport back. She's gonna be under a lot of pressure now, and Delusion has permanent control of this mid lane.
Yep, and there you can see Counterburn just using up the rest of her mana to make sure she gets the rest of that wave, but that was so much mana just to farm that one wave under tower. Delusion's very likely going to be pushing in the next wave, heading back to base, so Counterburn will probably still be down in CS after this. Is a point to note that for the Team Asterisk team, it's pretty crucial that they do allow Counterburn to get hit and shine, because she's one of the main carries, one of the highlights on this Team Asterisk
I mean, you were
team.
talking about playing a couple of games with them earlier this week, and how
she hard carried my game. I played a game with 3 of the Asterisk girls, Lustreless, Candleburn, and Claria. We played, I think, 3 or 4 games the other day, and they were so good. Claria was pretty good in support, but Candleburn really was outstanding in those games. Don't want to give away what picks they were playing.
Okay.
Yeah, but something to look forward to,
Alright,
definitely.
It's good that Lustreless is finally gonna get her first Scuttle Crab.
I mean, the game plan for her on Gragas this game is pretty much farm till 6, E into lane, get the Dream Barrel.
Especially with the Predator Boots coming in as well, the additional movement speed and damage on the first proc is gonna help her a lot. The Ward is gonna see Lustreless coming in, but she's gonna use the Predator and force this gank in. Remember, the Urgot still has flash. She is not gonna use it just yet. In fact, looking to turn this fight around, like you mentioned with the level 6. Fear Beyond Death is available, so knowing this Lustreless is going to back off.
That's a bad spot to recall, though, if the Urgot...
The polka music.
It's tilting me so hard.
The polka music.
Yep, but Urgot isn't going to try and stop Lustreless back. Of course, Hanami. As a team, they did a very good presence of mind right there. Sejuani was top side to protect the Urgot. Both Sejuani and Gragas are still only level 5, though, so they're going to need about 1 more camp before they can gank a lane. The thing for Team Asterisk is that it's very easy for Gragas to gank most of the lanes on their side, because Lissandra, for example, she's level 7 now. Ash as well has that very easy arrow CC comboed with the Zyra. So much damage on this bottom side. We haven't spent a lot of time talking about the bot side, but the Ash so far has 20 CS up off of the Caitlyn. They've pretty much been consistently pushing the Caitlyn into lane, but right now
this gank is going to get spotted out by the control
that's
ward.
a nice ping, Sejuani. That's her first level 6 gank, so it is going to mean wasted time on the side of Team Hanami. Sejuani does look like she wants to go around. Nope, she's not. She's not interested in ganking bot anymore.
Meanwhile, Lustreless is going to clear out this control ward inside the Pixel Brush. Surprised that she hasn't opted, or rather looked to make anything happen in the mid lane. Like you said, very accessible crowd control is the name of the game for Candleburn, but not opting to do so. Lustreless playing a bit more defensive, reinforcing the lanes instead.
Sejuani's back. Gragas is here too. This might be nah, she's gonna back.
I like that Lustreless is pathing quite well to support the bot lane, because this is a lane, like you mentioned, very oppressive, has been pushing out heavily. To have the Gragas on the bottom side to disengage or reinforce any specific ganks is going to allow him to play more aggressively and make trades like that happen.
Oh, those Zyra plants. They're doing so much damage. The thing about the Caitlyn Morgana, I think we brought it, we mentioned during Pick and Ban about how the Caitlyn has, of course, that very long range to poke. Morgana also very good at poking. But one thing for the Caitlyn Morgana is that the way that Team Hanami are playing it, they're really pretty much playing it for the disengage. They're just keeping on a tower, they're playing safe, they're going to be using the Morgana Black Shield defensively, using the W to try and help the Caitlyn get those last hits under the tower, but that means that the Ashe and Zyra have pretty much been bullying them the entire game. We're almost 10 minutes in, though, and both teams are dead even. It's third. I say that, and then the blue side gets about 100.
I mean,
more
you're not
gold.
wrong.
Yeah, but so far we haven't seen our first gank.
Gank coming in, great flash away by Delusion to get away from the body slam from Lustreless, but
That's the thing that we were talking about earlier, right? We said that Lissandra, she took the cleanse out of respect, but the Orianna as well has the double defensive spells of the flash and the cleanse. So might be a while before we really do see a first blood coming out. Oh, Lissandra with the roam towards the bottom side, Orianna.
This ward is gonna spot them out. Delusion has to be very careful here. The claw forward and the frozen tomb immediately cleanse. Great timing, but the arrow behind is gonna nick her from the back. Lustreless with the flash body slam and a great barrel as well to chain this in. Delusion is dead. Now the Strangle Thorns used a bit late to confirm that kill, but overall that is going to put Asterisk on the board. 10 minutes in, a kill over to the Zyra. Not optimal, but still a kill.
Yep, I really like the way that Team Asterisk were coordinating their CC. That fight we were saying about how Delusion had a very good response, the instant cleanse of the Lissandra CC, but then the follow-up from the Ashes really helped them secure that kill. But that being said, it's really only first blood. We've seen some good things from the side of Team Hanami. I think Sejuani had a very good update, a bit late of a response, but still a pretty fast response to head towards mid lane for that skirmish. So Hanami are a bit behind, but it's nothing game-breaking yet.
Yeah, definitely not game-breaking like you mentioned. There is still quite a while to go for them to claw their way back in. Taking stock of the top lane. This is pretty much what you expect from Urgot, Aatrox, right? Both of these top laners are just going to farm it out. No solo kills should come in, barring a major misplay. You could see both of them just sort of content with trading the waves forward and back.
Yeah, I think there was an opportunity for ET in the top side to teleport during the skirmish earlier. We didn't really get a camera of what was going on in the top lane, but of course the changes to teleport mean that it can't be cancelled anymore once you start. So since she still has a CD, it wasn't cancelled by Aatrox. Yeah, we don't have a camera of what happened in the top lane, so we're not too sure why Urgot didn't choose to teleport to mid lane. But I mean, keeping lane priority, of course, is pretty much an important, biggest.
Not to mention, Delusion died very quickly, so there's every chance that they opted to just, forsake her and not expend the teleport to maybe not even find a return kill.
Yep, but it looks like both junglers' ultimates are back up. Both of them waiting in the wings here in the bottom side, so Johnny in the river bush.
Yeah, we've seen this so many times today that Lustreless really knows how to reinforce the bot lane when the time counts, right? Even without proper vision of the Sejuani, they are able to make a good guess of when she might be journeying down based on her pathing route and actually come in to defend this duo.
Yeah, that's the thing, that she has been pretty influential in her lanes. However, she's been doing that by sacrificing her CS. If you look at the CS differential, she's about 20 down off of Sejuani. So the thing is, she really needs to make her time in these lanes count for something. She needs to be getting that assist gold to make that time worth it.
So with that control ward, that's gonna allow Lustreless to walk in. Yeah. Pings down. This might be a 4-man force dive on the bottom side. We were talking about how Hanami wanted to get Dice into a good position to allow her to carry. Seems as though Asterisk is onto this plan, and
I really like what I'm seeing from Team Asterisk. You saw earlier the Ashe E that she shot towards the top side of the map. There are a lot of missing pings going down towards the top side, as you can see right now. Meonazi is playing pretty close to the tower because they're not sure where the Sejuani is. Turns out she is on the top side after all, but that gives Asterisk the information that they can push out bottom lane and then 3-man this first dragon. Very good timing from Team Asterisk.
Like you said, dragon being taken, not to forget, this is the mountain dragon, which gives you additional damage onto objectives like the tower or Baron and further dragons.
Oh no, they're taking blue from the Orianna.
This is a you hate to see moment if you're
my heart breaks.
If you're the mid laner,
mid-lane Orianna.
It isn't gonna suck all too much because she still has the Lost Chapter, so the mana regeneration is still there for her. She's still able to keep up and shove the waves in. Meanwhile, Candle Burn, very early Proto Belt picked up.
Yep.
Signals to me she might want to be more aggressive as the game approaches this mid lane, or rather mid-game skirmishing phase.
Yeah, that's definitely the aggressive buy, right? I mean, you have a choice. You could, between the Proto Belt, between the Hourglass or even the Rod of Ages
Yeah.
for your first fight, that Proto Belt really signals I'm going to go in on you hard during the next fight. But the thing is, we haven't seen that much action so far, about 15 minutes in the game, so the cleanse from the side of Delusion is already up for the next skirmish. Sejuani once again pathing to the bottom side, trying to make something happen, but choosing instead to go farm. One thing that we've noticed for this game is that both these teams are just so good at vision control.
Yeah.
It's pretty much you see pinks going down all around the map. When you see one ward going down, someone else is clearing a ward elsewhere on the map, and vision control has been so good from both these
I was
teams.
just gonna bring that up. You could see both teams tussling for vision, knowing that the name of the game right now is just controlling the fog of war and knowing how to make the right decisions based on incomplete information. A lot of damage down on the bottom side. These plants, man,
Yep.
starting to do work.
Yep. But yeah, you're talking about vision control. I think both these teams are very comfortable with just letting the carries on their team farm up for now. The Ashe Caitlyn as well as the Urgot Aatrox over on the top side. Ooh, ooh.
I mean, good moves by Lustreless there to...
Fancy footwork.
I guess she was cornering the crab
Yeah.
away from the Sejuani, so this is a tip for the solo queue players.
Yep. If there's one thing that Nexus Blitz taught me, it's that Scuttle runs in the opposite
Yes.
direction that you hit him
Yes.
in. Let's pick that up too. We played a lot of Nexus Blitz together.
We see the Sejuani heading to top side to clear her camp, and like you mentioned, you know, because Lustreless spent a lot of time reinforcing bot lane, she's fallen behind by about 30 CS.
Yep, she's also down about 1 level to the Sejuani right now. Oh,
Oh.
that Q! To her credit, I think that's the first Q I've seen land.
Right, yeah.
Point blank.
I can't fault Claria, you know. Occasionally you're gonna get caught out by those,
Can't dodge them all.
Mhm.
There's the pink going down, clearing
Once
the previous
more?
pink. That hurts. That's 75 gold as a support. That's hard. That's rough.
Especially in this phase of the game, right? You know, every pink ward counts because of how much vision it provides, how much safety it provides as well. And it looks like they're on a streak here. Asterisk clearing 2 control wards and now having full control of the bottom half of the map.
Let's just once more, waiting in the pink brush over in the river. Has the ultimate up. Oh, that deep ward in the bottom side jungle. It's going to spell out that
Yeah.
the Sejuani's nearby though. I'm not
That's-
sure if this gank is going to work. Looks like Lustrous is thinking about backing off.
I think they're just looking to siege down.
Yep, they want the
What,
tower.
tier 1, right?
They want the first tower.
Alright, speaking of that, the force straight onto the Ashe. She's backing off Aya, using the flash very defensively, backing off. Now the arrow in front and the teleport in from the Aatrox as well. This is a 4-4. Urgot has arrived, but it's going to be the Aatrox that falls first.
Lissandra?
Heal, backing off. Candleburn now joining in the fight. I don't think that Asterisk wants to re-engage on this. Look out into Delusion. She has the flash as well as the shockwave, but it's not going to catch anyone. Clara as well as Aya are going to fall to damage coming in. It's a double kill now for Delusion. Overall, a massive turnaround fight here coming in for Hanami, and they turn the tides off this bot lane siege.
That stopwatch from Lustreless to prevent them from being a triple kill. Just to break that down a bit, I mean, we were talking about Candleburn's earlier Proto Belt buy. We saw that really come into play here. She was the first to get into the lane. She had that aggressive play. But then the thing is, Delusion has had the CS lead so far in mid, and because she did go for the slightly more aggressive buys, the Luden's Echo, you saw when Team Asterisk were trying to retreat from tower, there was such a good potential for a very good Orianna ultimate right there. The way that she was triangulating her ball, I think that was really what turned that team fight around. So Candleburn, despite the fact that she might have gotten to the lane faster, I think the presence of the Orianna in the team fight was what really helped them secure that win.
And talking about how they won the fight as well, at the start of it, Aya was the one that got picked by the Glacial Prison from Sejuani. That's never what you want to have happen when you're starting these skirmishes, because Ashe is somewhat, you know, a primary damage source as well for this team, so she has to be safe. Flashing over it and the charge as well to get her to safety. You thought she was going to flash over the wall, but psych, you know, she used it to close the gap and then used the Arctic Assault over the wall after that.
Well, she's got 2 gap closers, but right now, I'm not sure Team Hanami really want to contest this, though. It's a 5v3 for now. Urgot and Oriana are heading up to...
They are arriving, but the Glacial Prison once more tagging the Zyra. They're looking for this fight. Explosive Cast isn't really going to do much. Meanwhile, both teams splitting this up 1-1. Now it's 2-1 for Asterisk as they turn this around massively. Delusion now on the back has to run for a life. Oh man, that was a massive fight coming in for Asterisk. We didn't think it was going to work out well for Hanami, and true enough, they got picked.
That was the thing. We saw them already disengage from that fight. We were talking about how the Sejuani had the flash Q to get to safety, and at that point we're saying it's a 5 versus 3. It's really not the fight that Team Hanami wants to pick at that point. It's going to give Team Asterisk such a large advantage right now. They pick up the Rift Herald, they use that to immediately get the topside tower, so that's in the span of about 2 minutes, just at 2 towers for them. They might get this topside tier 2 as well. Hanami only have... Well, they've got the Caitlyn there now. Yeah, so they're going to get a lot of good damage down.
I think the focus is on the mid tier 1 because we saw the Aatrox just taking her time, and yeah, there you go. Finally getting it for herself. Mid tier 1 is going to fall, and this brings the overall advantage in terms of structures in favor of Asterisk. They're going to be 3-1 now, and 5k is the goal lead for them. So
yeah, I really like how intelligent Team Asterisk have been playing this so far. It has been a very measured game, but suddenly at the 18-minute mark, you saw Lustreless wanting to make something happen over on the bot side, despite the fact that I did get caught out. They gave up the double kill. Team Asterisk just took a step back and they're like, okay, we're just going to lane swap. It's almost the 20-minute mark. We need to get Rift Herald right now. And then we use that to snowball their advantage, and that's exactly what they did. It's just some very clever play from their side.
Yeah, definitely have to agree with you, Jenny. Smart macro play from Asterisk coming in, knowing what their win conditions are and how to translate this into a mid-game advantage. You're saying that this is a composition that excels in making these picks and starting fights off. I want to see a bit more restraint from Hanami. I want to see them temper their aggression a bit more because, like we were talking in Pick and Ban, this is a composition that revolves around utility and keeping dice safe. Fight front and back, kite backwards with this composition. That's what they excel at. Don't run face first in, right?
Yep. Don't take that 5v3 fight.
Going in onto the Aatrox, a lot of damage early on, and the arrow barely catching her out. The flash is going to get her to safety now. The Urgot has to be careful because this is a 1v4 situation. She doesn't have anyone behind her just yet to reinforce this push. Using the Predator boots, I think Lustreless can get into these fights, but no, opting to back off.
Yeah, it always is a bit dangerous. You don't quite want to tower dive when the enemy team has that Sejuani, Oriana, Morgana combination. Also, there's always the threat of the Urgot ultimate, so you don't want to get too close. Just in case you get 1v1'd, 1v5'd at that point. It does pop his ultimate on you, so Team Asterisk are going to play it very safe. They did push in the wave and then they've chosen to back. Oh, the music. It's too early for this.
So next set of core items have come in from multiple members on both teams. We see in the top lane it's 2 core items in the form of the Yomus and the Black Cleaver, responsible for a lot of the damage in that trade we saw earlier.
That's not a team fight, Aatrox.
Yeah, that is a beat you down and kill you Aatrox in the site.
Yep.
Oh man.
That's if I don't get you, my passive will come up and I'll get you that. And Candle Burn with that very nice 700 gold bounty. Yep. Oh!
Great flash out to avoid the shockwave. Explosive cast isn't going to nick anyone. In fact, it's going to push them away.
Yep, Ash Arrow is not up yet. Now it is. Yeah. So there is that potential for Team Asterisk to keep pushing this. Looks like they are going to head over to the top side forest. That's one thing that we've noticed so far this game from Team Asterisk. A lot of the times, instead of going for that risky skirmish, that risky engage where they might drop some members, they instead choose to just push the wave, get the advantage, and then on their way out, clear vision and put some wards down. Then they use that to set up their next moves.
You know what this reminds me of, actually? It sounds a bit facetious, but like this is how SKT used to play back then when they had the very aggressive, give me an inch, I'll take a yard. If not, we're just gonna push the lead inch by inch. Constantly pushing the waves out and then controlling the vision. If you face check into us, we're gonna kill you regardless, right? So this is starting to look very dominating from Asterisk coming in. Now this forces them to face check because they don't have the vision. Might be a massive fight breaking out here, Jenny.
There are 5 from Team Hanami though. Asterisk only have 3 people here.
Oh, the binding's gonna catch Gragas, and she's gonna flash out of here. The Strangled Thorns to disengage, but meanwhile in the center of the fight, it's gonna be Candleburn buying so much time with the Frozen Tomb. And look at this, Aatrox has joined the fight. She's ripping the backline apart. Dice has to flash away now. A couple more seconds. She's still safe. Gonna pay for it with the life eventually.
Oof, and Asterisk proving us wrong. I mean, what did we just say a minute ago? Don't take that 5v3. What did they just do? Took the 5v3 and won. It's just Counterburn, as you mentioned, bought so much time for the teleport from Mayo Nazi to come in. They're going to translate this into Baron. They know that Hanami have 2 wards in there, but they don't care. Hanami is in no position to contest this at all.
No position to contest this whatsoever. It looks like Asterisks are going to have Baron Asher for breakfast, and now they're going to recall with a massive 7k gold lead. And
they had Shelly for breakfast and then Baron for lunch.
Yeah, it's a very, very healthy meal recommended by 9 out of 10 doctors everywhere. I want to go back to your point about how you said they played very aggressively. I want to disagree a bit because they had full vision control of the area. They knew they had the teleport as well. So it seemed like a very calculated aggression coming in, and definitely something that if they carry on with this trend, you know, it's definitely going to allow them to close out the game.
Yep, they knew they had the lead, so it might have looked like they were getting pincered, but nah. Candleburn was like, I've got damage, guys. I'm 6-0.
Candleburn, right?
Yep, Candleburn was like...
Jenny's Candleburn type man right now.
I feel like maybe one member on Team Asterisk was like, guys, you know, they have 5. And then Candleburn was like, guys, we have me.
We got this.
We got this. I got this. Don't worry. I'm going in. There's only one direction for that proto belt to go.
40 seconds on the next dragon, and looks like the Asterisk girls know this. They're setting up the bot lane siege as well.
Yeah, they've got all 3 lanes pushing in their favor right now. If you take a look at the mini-map, Team Hanami.
They found a pick onto the Morgana. Wandering support is going to get caught out.
Yep, she's...
This is that stage of solo queue where your support's just like, I have to ward, man. I have no choice. And she's going to get caught.
And I'm not worth much. At this point, she's 0 and 4. Doesn't have her Janya's Hourglass yet. Has used her stopwatch already, so that's not going to be able to buy her time. We were talking about the dragon being up. The thing is, Team Asterisk have so much good vision. If you look at the mini-map, they've got wards all over Team Hanami's jungle, both top side as well as bottom side. It's really helping them set up for this Baron minion wave push here in the mid side.
Yep, push is successful. They're going to get mid tier 2 and possibly, they're demolished, doing a ton of damage onto the top inhibitor turret. And the 1-3-1 push actually really successful here, Jenny. This is a breath of fresh air. It's something I loved to see, you know, coordinated teams do that hasn't been executed all too much. In one fell swoop, they claim 3 structures for themselves and open up top inhibitor as well for the rotation if they want to make this play happen. So they're going to keep the pressure onto the mid inhibitor turret still.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think there's all that much that Team Hanami can do at this point. You can see they're trying to have 4 members stay in the mid lane because if they try to match the 1-3-run from Team Asterisk, they're either, at this point, they need to make the decision, are we going to give up the towers or are we going to give up the kills? And it's never a good spot for any team to be in.
Looks like the call will be to give up the structures because top inhibitor is going to fall and bot inhibitor turret is going to fall as well.
And you can see ET already down to about 1/3 of her health just from that poke.
And there has been used. Aatrox jumping into the fight and is being backed up by Candleburn. Frozen Tomb onto the backline. They're going to catch Delusion out with the arrow as well to finish it off. Just the icing on top of the cake. Double kill picked up by Aya, and now they're going to get all inhibitors to close out this game. Asterisk in very dominating fashion early in the morning, looking to pick off the win against Hanami. Dotting the I's and crossing the T's, looking to pad their KD a little bit more. Nope, they say go for the Nexus is the call. Just as I say that, they throw in the Strangled Horns to go for a bit more, but eventually Nexus will be picked up. And that's Asterisk with an early W for our first game of the Singapore qualifiers. Well, not so much qualifiers, play-ins.
Yep, for the top 8 offline playoffs, and what a game at number 1 that was from Team Asterisk. You're talking, I think, about the first 15 minutes or so of the game. It was very measured. It looked like both teams just wanted to have the Aatrox Urgot top side farm, have the Ashe and the Caitlyn over in the bottom lane farm, but just the way that Asterisk managed to just suddenly turn things on at the 18-minute mark, and for the next 10 minutes just absolutely dominating that game, that was really scary.
I want to say that the game was pretty much even even up to the point where Hanami took a very, very poor fight at the Rift Herald that allowed Asterisk to crack open the top side with the Rift Herald ensuingly. And from then on, they knew what the game plan was, right? They knew how to close out the game with vision, how to use the waves to their advantage. And all credit to this team that understands good macro play because it's paying off really well for them right now.
Yep, I agree. I think, and with that, Asterisk are going to be making it into the Knicks game later on today. Right now, we are, I believe, going to be having Bao face off against Siberis G6 in the Knicks match. I'm not sure if you guys can see the brackets.
No, we're updating brackets right now, but that should be
the brackets.
It should be on during the breaks.
Yep.
So.
But the way that the brackets worked from the previous weeks coming into today was that on January 5th, on the play-in qualifiers, we saw 4 teams make their way from the play-ins into today's game. So the 4 teams that made it in were in the top 5th to 8 in the lower seeds, and they're actually facing off against the seeded teams, Asterisk, Bao, Nitrous, as well as Impunity, who, based off of last season's placings, were placed for 2nd, 3rd, 4th seed into today's game. So Asterisk have made it to the next round. Since we are playing in a double elimination, of course, Team Hanami do have a chance later to make it into next week's final top 4.
Of course, double elimination, like you said, second chance is provided for them to fight their way back up. It is an arduous journey, so hopefully they take some time to reset, get their coffee. It's still early in the morning, we can forgive them for the loss. Maybe talk over what the game plan is as they try to fight their way back into the winner bracket. Guys, we're going to go for a short break. Of course, stay tuned to the stream. There will be a countdown timer for when the next game is going on, but for now, we will be signing out for a while. See you guys soon.